Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our second and final live stream of Tuesday. We are on Microsoft Flight Simulator in the Cessna 152. We're going to do a bit of aerial touring around. Specifically, we're going to fly along the coast here, check out this area, Lloret de Mar. But we're also going to check out a little special surprise here in Tordera. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I apologize. But we're going to check that out and talk a little bit about that area before we head to Lloret de Mar. So we're going to take off from runway 30 and we're going to turn a little bit to the left and we're going to try to find, I just had it, this area right here, and we'll talk about that as we're going to kind of do a few laps around this particular building, and I'll tell you why in a moment. Hello, Pithers. But anyway, we're going to get started in here in just a moment. Got some really cool information about the area. We'll talk about that as we fly along. I apologize in advance if I don't see everybody's stuff in the chat, as I have to have some windows open and those are going to cover up the chat, so I will try as best as I can. If anybody has any questions or whatever, I'll try to cover those, but let's go ahead and get in here and get our weather set up correctly. Matter of fact, just out of curiosity, that's why I don't have. That's why it's been a bit odd lately. We haven't had a lot of radio traffic from other planes. So let's put that back on. That's why. I forgot I turned that off just to see if that would keep the game from crashing. But apparently that doesn't have any impact on it. Alright, let's get in here. We'll put on some nice sunny weather here. We don't want to fly in the yucky weather. We want to have a nice sunny flight. Is this on? No, come on, Pithers. Microsoft is not going to. I don't think they would ever sell this game to their competition. Not in a million years. Sony would probably have to buy out Microsoft, which I can't see happening anytime soon. So we've got a nice grass field that we're going to take off from. I thought I was going to be taking off in a more clear sort of takeoff, but we're going to have to get over those trees for sure. So let's get the weather nice and sunny first. Get that cloud cover off so we can actually enjoy the flight. Yeah, I'd be shocked if Microsoft ever put this out on the PlayStation. Now, in theory, what we could do if we wanted, and I may do it just for general purpose, we could try to like come around and get a little bit more distance. Matter of fact, let's do that. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna taxi just a smidge and get a little bit more distance on this runway, just so that I have enough space to clear those trees. We're going to kind of use this little road here. Come around this little building here. So I'm guessing this is like a grass strip for like agricultural use, that sort of thing. Matter of fact, we could probably even take off from way back here if we wanted. Let's do that, just to be on the safe side. I apologize to the owners of the land that I'm taxing on your... Just to have a little bit of extra space, it doesn't hurt. Okay. Yeah, yeah, exactly. All right, so let's get up in the air here. I could kind of over this way a little bit. I'm trying to get to the point where we're like, the trees are at the lowest kind of space there. Alright, that wasn't too bad. So we got at least a marker for Tordera.
Approach Froggy 237 is type Cessna 152 1 miles northwest of Lima Echo Papa Foxtrot 300 feet. Request flight following.
Alright, so we want to look for that building. Now it's going to be kind of, we're going to have to look for that road, that roundabout. But it should be fairly easy to find, I think.
Squawk 2244 Froggy 237.
That, okay, there's that.
2 miles west of Lima Echo Papa Foxtrot, 700 feet. Altimeter 29
Okay, there it is, right there, that building. Now that is what is a welcome to Spain. It looks, the outside looks like it's like a castle. I'll swing back around. I just want to make sure. Apparently my co-pilot is not as cooperative this morning as I expected. So let's come back around. Now this is called the Castel Medieval de Valtordera. So it's a... Now, most people, when you get if you go to the Lloret de Mar, it's a very popular tourist sort of destination. You can get a lot of good packages. That's how I ended up in Lloret de Mar. Some friends of mine and I, when I was still in Germany, they needed a fourth person to get a good deal on a trip to Lloret de Mar. They asked me if I was interested in being the fourth person, and I jumped at the chance because I was like, sure, why not? And so we took a bus from Germany down here, and you get to the hotel in the morning, you know, kind of late morning. You get checked in, you get settled into your room and all that, and then in the evening time, you get on a bus and you come up here. Now I thought it was, a little bit darker out, so it's hard to tell where exactly we went, but we went to this area here, Tordera. Now the cool thing about the Castel Medieval de Valtordera, is that it's got this cool thing. You go in there, right, and they have like this huge hall, right, and you go in and they kind of tell you a little bit about the, it's like a big welcome thing. So I'm lurking. Okay, Nick. And so you get, and then you go in and you just pick up. It's like they have colored seating sections. So you got like yellow, blue, green, and something. There's 4 colors or whatever. And then they serve you your meal in like on wooden plates and wooden bowls, and you eat with your hands. You don't eat with fork. There's no forks or anything. So you eat, and then after that they have like some traditional dances and stuff, and then eventually you have you go and do they have knights come out, and they have jousting competitions and sword fighting and all that. And the section that you're seated in, that's the knight that you root for. And so it's very cool. And then after dinner, you go out back into the main hall, and it's huge, and they have music and all that. I lost track. Where is it? Oh, there it is, right over there. You have music and all that. And that was my first introduction to sangria. And so you just drink sangria, and you leave there a little after 11 or so, close to midnight, and by then you're full of food and cheer and lots of sangria, and it's just this really cool experience. And then you go back, you go back down here, so we're gonna turn towards Lloret de Mar. Yeah, I always will remember my time there very, very fondly. Like it was a really great experience. On average, everybody that we encountered during our time there was really friendly. Now, when I was there, this was a long time ago. And I'm not going to say the year because I'm not going to date myself. But anyway, there was a lot of British expatriates there, and I'll talk a little bit about one in particular here in a moment as we come back out here along the coast. Now, a few things about Lloret de Mar that I'm going to talk about as we head the coast here. I clear out one thing and something else pops up in my inbox, my email. I try to keep that cleared out. But anyway, so Lloret de Mar is a Mediterranean coastal town in Catalonia, Spain. It is 40 kilometers south of Girona and 75 kilometers northeast of Barcelona. It is the second largest town in the Selva Comarca, or region, of Catalonia. Lloret de Mar attracts summer visitors on packaged tours, as I just alluded to. Its main beach is one of the most popular Costa Brava beaches and is consistently awarded the blue flag for cleanliness. And I can assure you, when I visited, it is a very, very clean beach. Like, there was no trash or anything. Now, this harbor here, near Blanes or Blanes, not sure how it's pronounced, and again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering the names of these areas here. We'll come back around and we'll talk about that here in just a moment. But just remember, this has some significance here. And I think I have pictures of this still up on my. Matter of fact, you could see this mountain, or these houses and stuff up there on that hill. I took a picture from that harbor before we went water skiing, but we'll talk about that in a moment. Anyways, so you come along here, yeah, really clean beaches. The water, I've never seen clear water ever in my life until I came to Lloret de Mar. Along most of these areas, you can see down to the bottom. And it's just the most amazing view you will ever have. If you go snorkeling even, it would be the most amazing, probably, time you'll ever have in your life. So, now I did find, I believe, the hotel where we stayed at. Now, the name may have changed since I was last there. I don't know. I thought I saw what it was called. But let's see if we can find it. It's there's the main street, and I don't know what it's called. I'd have to take a peek real quick and see if I can't find that out. But there's like a main street that takes you down to the beach, and then there's like side streets, and there's an area. Matter of fact, it's right along. I'm trying to find. I found it. Oh, I think I see where it might be. We'll come back around. That's okay. We're a little low, that's for sure.
Climb and maintain 3,600 feet. Expect ILS Yankee runway 19er approach via Banal transition. Cleared to Banal Transavia 576
Transavia 576 you're 13 miles north of Girona. Contact Girona Tower on 121.7 inbound.
Girona. Anyway, So yeah, it was perfectly located because we weren't but a short walk to the beach. And my friends and I would go to this place that we found called Colin's Cottage. Colin is a British expatriate. I'm assuming he's still there. It's been quite a while. I don't know if it's even still open at this point. But, yeah, Colin ran this place called Colin's Cottage. It was right behind our hotel, and we just lucked out that we found a place where we could just have a great time, party, get drunk with sangria, because Colin would do his own mixture of sangria. And then would, so there's an area here. Where did it go? I'm trying to see if I can't find that main street. There's like an area that's just all hotel. And it's, yeah, we should be. That's Lloret de Mar, yeah. Well, that's interesting. The little castle here on the coast is not showing up on the map or on our stuff. But anyway, it was a package deal hotel. You had, like they would serve like a light breakfast in the morning. You could have a lunch in the afternoon. So we would get up and have a bite to eat in the morning. That might be right over here. Looking for like a building to have. That might be it down there. Kind of. Yeah, there it was, right there, where that square hotel, right off the left wingtip, right there. It's not rendered in very well, that's for sure. Anyway, so Colin owns this place called Colin's Cottage, and we find out about it, and we are like, we're there all the time. So we go even over to Colin's Cottage. He'd open up in the afternoon. We get up in the morning, have a little bit of breakfast, go down to the beach, dry out, walk around, enjoy the scenery, and then we would go, back to the hotel room, maybe take a little nap. Late afternoon, we'd walk over to Colin's Cottage. He made these amazing grilled ham and cheese sandwiches, and so we would go and have that, hang out for a little while, go back to the hotel room, maybe take another nap, and then we would go back to Colin's Cottage, and we would be there until he closed the bar that night. And it was always a blast. Just had great fun, really friendly staff. Everybody was really cool. Matter of fact, on my Flickr, I think I've got a picture of Colin and his entire staff in front of or just outside the bar there, or the pub. I guess it was more like a pub. But, yeah, really cool people. So, if you remember the harbor, we're going to fly back that way, and we'll come back towards Lloret de Mar and talk about the... you can't see it. I'm going to try to approximate where it is here on the coast. I'm a bit disappointed because I thought for sure that this little, we'll talk about this castle that's on the coast, right around here somewhere, off the right wingtip there, what it's about and what it represents, or what it was. What it is. And again, if you want to reference I've got some pictures of it in my Flickr page. There's some grainy black and white photos that I took. Hello, Rainer? So anyway, Colin, so we had like 5 days and 6 nights here in Lloret de Mar. And Colin was very he liked the fact that these four crazy Rainier. Okay. Four crazy Americans would come to his bar and just drink and just act foolish and just have a great time. So Colin, being the guy that he was, decided to take us out water skiing here on the Mediterranean. So his boat was parked here at this marina. So he drove. He had a vehicle and took me and my three friends down here to this marina, and we went. Now I had never water skied before in my life, ever. So he asked if we wanted to go. We're like, yeah. Now you didn't have to water ski. You know, he was just like, we're just going to go out on the Med. If you want to water ski, you can. If you don't want to, it's perfectly fine. He said, I want to water ski, so if anybody can drive the boat. Now that's how much he trusted us. Now, of course, in today's world, that probably would not really happen, because people, it's hard to find people you can trust like that very quickly in that short amount of time. But we got on the boat here in this harbor, took off out of this area here, and then came out onto the Med, and so I decided I would try to water ski. Now I'd never done it before, was able to stand up. The first time I did it, I stood up, because he gave like very quick instructions, this is what you got to do, and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay, I got it. No, I got up, and I was going good, and then all of a sudden, it was like, and I went face first right into the Mediterranean, which was not the most pleasant feeling in the world. If you're going at a pretty good pace, and you hit water, especially salt water, pretty fast, your face is going to feel it, and it's not going to feel very good. But they came back around, got me. You want to try again? Sure. I was able to stand up a little while longer. I didn't try anything fancy. I didn't try to jump over the wake of the boat or anything like that. I just was like, I just want to be able to stand up and say I water skied on the Med. That's the only time ever in my life I've ever water skied. It was on the Mediterranean, which is not something, most people, if you go water skiing, you're on a lake or, something like that. So it was a really cool experience. And then I drove the boat while Colin water skied. And then he got out and took control, and we zipped back over to the harbor here. And then that night we partied at Colin's. So he closed down, and we went back to the hotel. Crashed. No, we did not. No, we did not do that. That is not true. We met now there was four of us. One of the guys was married. His wife was not in Germany with him at the time. So he was the odd man out. But he went back to the hotel while myself, two of my other friends, and the three gals from Ireland, who happened to have the room right next to where me and one of my friends was staying. We went down to the beach, hung out, and they hung out with us for our last full night in Spain. And then we're there when we left in the morning to head back to Germany on the bus. It was a really great experience overall. Now, what you don't see, we're going to talk about this as we come back, and we're going to come along the coast, and we're going to turn back towards, we're going to come over these hills and whatnot, and then we're going to come back along the coast here. There's a castle ruin along the edge of the coast here. And it's not rendered in here, unfortunately. It is called, let me pull this back up, is called Castel d'Enclave. It's a old medieval castle. There's a footpath that takes you along from the beach. You can walk out there, and it's like right around here somewhere. I don't know why it's not rendered in very at all, but it's like right along this little area right there. And we'll try to get a little bit lower and then see if we can't see if we can't get a better look along the coast there. I'm a bit disappointed that it's not there, because it would be really cool to see. And so it's a fixture along the coast there. You can't really go inside per se, but there's a path you can walk up there. There's like a walk through, and you can check that out. It's a really cool little place. And then right next to it, where we saw that little, when we come back around, I'll see if you can't see it just a smidge better. It's got this, just on the other side of that castle ruin it's this really phenomenal, like if you were into snorkeling or whatever, it'd be the most amazing place to go snorkel diving. It's like this clear, I don't know if it's like 30 feet of water, maybe more, maybe less. It's a fairly, not super deep, but if you're snorkeling, you could probably go out there and do it, and it wouldn't be too much of a thing to try. But just crystal clear water. Like I tried to get a picture of it, and it didn't really come out as well as I'd hoped it would, but it was just this amazing, really, you could see the bottom and all the sea life and the stuff growing there on the bottom, and it's just, really breathtaking stuff. So if you're ever thinking about going on vacation and you can do a package deal, I highly recommend, if you can go to Lloret de Mar, you will not be disappointed. I hope that that's still the case, but I know when I was there, I really enjoyed. It's on the bucket list. I'd like to go back. I'd like to see if Colin is still there, still got his pub open and all that, and see if he still remembers me. So yeah, really cool. But again, if you look at my Flickr, you'll see the ruins of the castle. I think I took a picture of it from the boat when we were out on the Med. I might have taken some pictures of the beach area here for Lloret de Mar. I took the area is like right here. So right where that little outcrop is, that's kind of like, it seems like that's where the castle ruins are. But it's like it could be a bit of a walk, right? But it's worth it. If you just follow, there's a path you can follow and just enjoy the scenery, just hang out, try to take as many pictures as you can, of course, whether it's with a camera or your phone, whatever. It's well worth it. So I don't think you'll ever be disappointed if you ever get a chance to go here. I can't recommend it enough. It was such a blast. And I'm assuming that everybody is still friendly there, very welcoming, very, just, it's the most amazing time I think you'll ever have in your life, if you can ever get down there. But it's not far from Barcelona. Now, when I was there, and you can kind of figure out the dates, kind of, but I'm not going to tell you if you're right or wrong, but when I was there, the Barcelona had already been picked for the Olympics. So Barcelona and all the regions within, a reasonable distance. Oh, hey, that's okay. You're fine, Chris. We're all preparing for the Olympics. So, there was some minor improvements going around town, repaving of streets or putting down new tiles along the walkways and stuff like that. So yeah. But of course, I wish we had been able to go to Barcelona while we were there. That wasn't on the agenda, unfortunately. But it's one of those places that you could stay there. There's plenty to do, plenty of places to hang out. I'm sure the nightlife is still pretty. No matter your age, you're going to find something to do. But it's a good spot that if you have the ability to take transport down to Barcelona, I'm sure it'd be worth it to go down there for the day and then come back. You got all these shops and little tours, and of course the great thing is on the beach you can rent jet skis. They have like banana boat rides where everybody hops on and you go out on the Med and you go bumping along. And of course, my friends and I, we were being a bit goofy, and we try to get the banana boat to spill over and dump everybody. You get a life vest, so if you can't swim, you're going to be fine. But yeah, we'd always find a way to dump the boat into the water, dump everybody off, including ourselves, and we'd have a laugh, and good fun. Matter of fact, I think about it too. Again on my Flickr, if you look at the pictures of me, I think there's pictures of me and my 3 friends at that castle, that walking castle that we talked about. At first, that was taken, I think, just after or just before, or sometime during the dinner service, before the knights came out for the jousting matches. So I used to have so many pictures of the area, and of course over the years I lost track of a lot of the negatives and stuff. So I lost a lot of those, but the few that I have, I'll always, cherish those memories. We'll go along this way, along the coast a little bit more. But yeah, just really, I always think about this time it was the most perfect time in my life. I wasn't, and most people, you think you're going to you're going to get on the Mediterranean and you're going to water ski. When you think about it, it's like, is that really a good idea? Because the Mediterranean has sharks. I didn't even think about that. That's how, I guess, a bit foolish I was. Which was okay. Sometimes that's just the way the world is. You don't, it's like you have this opportunity of a lifetime, and you don't pass it up. Be a bit bold, be fearless, and take that chance and enjoy it, because it may never happen again in your life. When I was out on the Med, I've told people, every time I see that picture of me on the skis on the Mediterranean, I'm like, that's the most perfect time in my life, right there. I wasn't afraid of anything. I wasn't thinking about anything. It was just like, I'm going to enjoy this moment, and that's exactly what I did. And sometimes that's just how you have to live life. But do it responsibly, of course. But it was the most amazing experience, and I sure hope that Colin has prospered over the years and had a lot of success. I'll never forget his generosity, his willingness to trust us enough to go out on the Mediterranean with him. That's a huge thing. Most people would be like, I don't know you well enough. I was thinking about doing this, but I don't know if I can trust you guys 100%. And it was, I'm glad that he did, and I'll never forget that. So, all right, we're just going to fly along here and enjoy some of the scenery now. Lloret de Mar we'll come back around and we'll start thinking about where we're going to land at. Probably we're going to try to land at the airport we took off from, because that way we know runway 30 is the best approach. So we may call in and ask for that for our landing, and we'll do our VFR landing loop and all that. Tomorrow we'll be back in the 152. We're going to fly around areas of the Grand Canyon. I've been by there. Well, let me reiterate that, or let me correct myself. I've not been to the Grand Canyon proper. I've been on the freeway. There's an exit, of course, that you can take that takes you to the gate for the Grand Canyon itself. Depending on where you are in the United States, there's different gates, I think, depending on which way you're coming in from. But we're going to fly around, try to fly into the canyon, enjoy some of that scenery and all that tomorrow. And then we're going to do, hopefully, we're going to do the Spitfire under the Winston Bridge in Durham County, the UK, which was done for the TV show Foyle's War a long, long time ago. A friend of mine lives not far from that bridge. So she asked me if I'd be willing to give it a try, and I said, yeah, we can fit that into the schedule. So hopefully, we're not going to do a barrel roll because there's not a lot of wiggle room. But we're going to try to zip in there as quickly as we can and then climb out and turn and enjoy that. And we may make a couple runs just for a good measure. And yeah. So that's the plan. For tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll be on Boston Springer, train symbol 2 in the morning. So yeah, I know lately I've been doing some longer stuff, and the aerial touring, I try to go to places that may be of interest or whatever. Certainly on Thursday we're going to continue some aerial touring also. We're going to fly around the town where I was stationed at in Germany called Heilbronn. Now, it was a bit hard for me to. There's been so much change, over the years. Nothing always ever remains the same, except I can say for sure, Savannah for the most part has remained as I remember it. But time moves on and things change, things progress. So a lot of the things that I remember from Heilbronn are no longer there, and it's a bit of a bittersweet thing to realize that part of your own history, in a way, has been erased. And I understand the reasons behind it, but it's hard to to see that. So, and we're going to take off from there's a grass airfield and I didn't know this existed until recently, but there's a little grass airfield we're going to take off from in Heilbronn. We're going to cruise around. We're going to go over to Neckarsalm, talk a little bit about that area, and then we'll come back in and land. That's on Thursday. And then Friday we'll come back to Spain. We'll do some point-to-point flights from some decent-sized airports, and come back and do some of that in the 350i. And then Saturday we may continue that, or we may do some more aerial touring. I heard this fire is that for going under. Yeah, we're gonna try to go under the bridge in the Spitfire. Apparently, and she had told me that this was done a long time ago. Now, the way I thought it was that somebody had their own Spitfire. They, they were licensed Spitfire pilots or whatever, and did this just as a stunt. I didn't realize that it was actually done for the TV show Foyle's War. So it wasn't like somebody, it wasn't like just a stunt that was put together just for the fun of it. It was for a television production. So I'm sure there was a lot of safety things involved and planning and all that stuff. But tomorrow we're going to give it a try. It may end in disaster. I may crash, but we're gonna try as best as we can. If we crash, if we got the time, we'll give it another go. Look at that beach. Oh, look at that. I bet you that's got some clear water. You can just go down there and swim till you're blue in the face. No pun intended. Yeah. So we're gonna give that a go tomorrow. But first we'll fly. We're going to fly around the Grand Canyon for a bit in the 152. I don't think I could fly in the Spitfire through the Grand Canyon. I'm sure that would end in disaster as well. So we're gonna give that a go, and then that's for tomorrow. That's Wednesday. Thursday we're going to fly around Germany. Friday we'll come back to Spain and we'll do some airport to airport flying, and then it says Castel de Faro. I gotta go check that out. Let's go back over there real quick and see what that's all about. Yeah, then Saturday we'll do some more flying in Spain. What I may try to do is find some small airfields, grass airfields, and we'll take off and just kind of enjoy the scenery. Maybe we'll see if we can do some valley flying in Spain and enjoy that, and then find another grass field to land at. So, yeah, hopefully we can do that. The RO. Okay, yeah, let's go check that out real quick, and then we'll. That just sounds like a cool place. Mixed multitasking, I guess. Yeah, the intent was some time back I'd taken off from an island and we were going to fly up along the coast, and I think I was in the 152, and it was like trudging along, and next thing I know, 3 or 4 hours into the flight, nothing was really, we weren't making any headway, it seemed. So yeah, I was like, yeah, we got to land and all that. So what was that, you flying the Spitfire? Oh no, Chris, I don't think I can safely. The bridge thing is going to be a bit of enough of a challenge tomorrow, as it is. If I got a flight stick, rudders and all, rudder pedals and all that, I think I could, in theory, fly the Spitfire a lot better. But no, I couldn't. It would be it's too much of a handful to control with just the controller. So I've tried trimming the aircraft out. It's very difficult to get it to settle down. I don't know how those pilots did it, but they were able to. But yeah, it's a handful. So tomorrow is going to be a bit of a challenge, but we're going to give it a go. And if we try, we can't do it with the Spitfire. I know it can be done with the 152. So yeah, I can't. Yeah, that's way too much. Yeah, it is. I was excited about it, but it's not a. See castle. This is I've tried flying it, or Mick and I were going to do a flight, and eventually we're going to do it where we're going to take off go over the Dover Cliffs, and we're going to head towards Europe. We're going to try to find the areas where the landings at Normandy took place and all that. So that's on the to-do list, but I got to get flight stick and all that kind of stuff, because I can't. It's so difficult to control with the controller. So yeah, but hopefully once all that happens, I can, certainly we can do some of that kind of fun stuff. And but yeah, right now it's really it's not easy flying it with sometimes it's not even easy flying this 152 with the controller. The plane wants to just do its own thing sometimes, and trying to get it to settle down is not always the easiest thing to do. So yeah, that's the plan eventually. Yeah, Mick and I were talking about that. We're gonna try to do a flight together from an airfield, and then go over the Dover Cliffs, and then head out across the channel over to Europe, and try to go across where the Allied forces landed there at Normandy. So yeah, that's on the things to do. So as soon as we can get that done, we'll let everybody know. And yeah, so that's the plan. So yeah, I bet you can do some. I think you could even do a bit of cliff diving here. The water's deep enough. You can jump out far enough. Alright, let's runway 30.
Lima Echo Papa Foxtrot, traffic Froggy 2371 3 miles east, 1,100 feet inbound to land, runway 30.
Alright, there's our pattern entry way off yonder. Yeah, so we've talked about that. That's something that we agreed that we'd like to do together in the near future. Once I can get flight sticks, and then I've got to fly a little bit to get comfortable with doing everything, and get Yeah, I saw that briefly when I was getting this one set up, Nick. Yeah, 140 views. So again, I greatly appreciate Paul's helped me out with that, getting that together so I can post it. It's slowly starting to get more views. So if you haven't seen it yet, or you can tell your friends about it. Do have them, or friends, family, whoever, have them check it out. Ask them to leave a thumbs up. It was a lot of fun doing it. I wasn't sure, it was a bit crazy to do it. I wasn't 100% certain that we were, because the question always is it possible to do? I know I turned off the weather, so it seems like we're getting a little bit of an air buffet through here. Little minor turbulence as we're coming through these hills. What was I going to say? Because they could have put like an invisible wall that would have prevented me from doing it, and it was, could we or couldn't we do it? We found out it is possible to do. Yeah. So, yeah. I wasn't quite sure if, what my response was going to be, so that's the only thing I could think of. was a blast to do. Yeah, one negative Nancy had to put in a thumbs down. I don't know why, but you know, it is what it is. Some people just can't, as Chris mentioned last night in midstream, some people just don't like people being happy and just having a bit of fun. It's a game. It's not real life. Nobody was hurt. Didn't have to worry about filing any sort of paperwork or whatever, you know, permits and whatnot. So, yeah, that's the great thing about this game. You can try a bunch of different stuff, and it's either going to work out very well, or you're going to be into the ground or into the hillside or something. You know, just enjoy it for what it is. Alright, so our pattern entry's right there. We're going to try to climb right over this hill here without hitting anything, hopefully. Yeah, that was good fun. It was good, clean fun. Because you're having fun and people see that and get butthurt. So yeah, exactly. You're exactly right. A lot of people, you know, it's unfortunate that people are miserable, and I get that. Doesn't mean that everybody's got to be miserable with you. Ooh, we just skirted over this hill here. I'm sure the people living up there would have been like, who's this crazy person just buzzing us in their little plane? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know either, Nick. It's unfortunate. I think it's just the nature of people in today's world. Sometimes they're miserable, and they want to bring everybody else down to their level. You know, just kind of like, you know, you guys had several people come in last night. Oh, can I play with you? Can I play with you? And you say no. Okay, bye. You know, I don't know. I mean, if why aren't they streaming it themselves? If they're that good, why aren't they streaming it themselves? That's my big question. If you say you're that good, how come you're not streaming also? Probably because you're supposed to be doing other things than playing FIFA, like sleeping or doing your homework. You know what I'd say? Balls to the haters, for example. Sometimes I don't want to talk to Chris, but I still do. Oh, Pithers. I don't know about you sometimes. To quote Mr. Addies, what do you like, Pithers? Oh, boy. Mr. Addies has kind of disappeared again. He was coming in the stream every once in a while. Hasn't been in a while. I hope he's okay. Anyway, yeah, I like to have fun, and you know, certainly this is, you know, I talked about it before, and I do apologize if I repeat myself numerous times. This is certainly, you know, brought me back to when I was a kid and enjoying planes and, you know, thinking about flying and whatnot. Yeah, I'm really thankful. I mean, it's not working perfectly. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm just thankful that I can enjoy things and for what they are, and show you guys little pieces of the world sometimes, and some nice scenery. And then also, you are flying from airport to airport, dealing with the numpty air traffic control. It's weird. We have our numpty air traffic control, and we have our numpty co-pilot / autopilot, and sometimes they're competing to see who's the most numpty. You know, that's the crazy part. Who was a kid once? See, you learn something. Oh, yeah, I was a kid once. Again, if you want to see what I looked like as a kid, I think you'll see some pictures of me on my Flickr when I was quite young. Looked a lot different. I had hair. I can tell you that. I had hair. Yeah. In my senior year, I went with the flat top. And of course, even that was not to standard. Everything went down to 1/8 of an inch when I got to basic training. Yeah, I haven't seen Mr. Addies in a while. He was coming in usually especially during train sim, he would pop in usually. He's kind of gone quiet again. I hope he's okay. I'm surprised he wasn't in Joe's stream the other day when Joe was on the farm. That would have been nice to see him in the chat. Alright. Oh, we've been going for about an hour. Well, that went by fast. There's the Welcome Castle. We'll probably zip right by there one more time as we get ready to come into our approach here. It is... gotta find the roundabout again. There's the roundabout. The Welcome Center, Welcome to Spain sort of place you would go and party. Right there off the left wingtip. Matter of fact, I'm going to pop back in. It's right there. Right on the marker. Casa de Medieval de Val Tordera. He was streaming yesterday. Oh, I didn't know. Kind of going slow already. I feel like let's go ahead and put a bit of our flaps, get some flap action going. Of course, we don't want to stall. We want the approach to kind of just happen naturally as much as possible. All right. Yeah, I hope he's doing okay. He hasn't been in a while. It's hit and miss with Mr. Addies, it seems. That's okay. As long as he's doing well, that's the important part. Alright, there's our little grass airport there we took off from before.
Lima Echo Papa Foxtrot traffic Froggy 237 is on downwind runway 30.
Now, as we get ready to land, I will tell you I have looked at, just for my own sort of research, I did look at, there is a place I could get a private pilot's license. It's going to cost at the most $10,000. Minimum is $8,000, but they said the general cost is usually about $10,000. Because most people, you have to fly quite a bit before you just get those hours in, and that's going to cost. That's what usually costs the most, is the flying, because you're paying for the gas and the instruction. I'd like to do it just so that it's something I it'd be kind of cool to have. Not that it's I don't know what I would really do with it, but at least I could say, oh, I got my private pilot license. All right, there's our runway. All right, here we are coming in. There we are. So we'll go ahead and just pull off the runway right here. We'll announce that we are clear of the runway.
Lima Echo Papa Foxtrot traffic Froggy 237 is clear of the runway.
Go ahead and actually we're going to taxi back around here and pull up in front of one of these buildings here. I think this is like your hangars and stuff. Kind of get the feeling this is a private airfield. Alright, let's shut the engine down. You just missed the whole thing, Daniel. Oh, Daniel, you missed the entire flight. Well, we had a good time. You have to watch it on the replay. Good stuff. Good stuff. We had a lot of nice scenery and such. Now, the cool thing is, check this out. They have like this little red light that comes on. You can turn it on, so if you're flying at night, you can see your dashboard and everything. I found that out quite by accident last night. Put the parking brake on. Turn off the battery. And then we'll go ahead and end it. I figured when you just landed. That's okay, Daniel. Hopefully you enjoy the watching it on the replay. It was a really good good flight. I'm just going to kind of look around here in the transponder. Okay, so that's like, I think that's when you do the when they say squawk, that's where you dial those numbers in at. I never really kind of looked around in this. Nav receivers, nav. Oh. Interesting. Okay. It almost seems like there's like an autopilot somewhere, but I don't see the where that would be. Anyway, your heading, your altimeter stuff. Clock. Yeah, it almost seems like there would be a autopilot the way this is set up, but I don't think there is. Anyway, jam donut boy. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for today, folks. See you all tomorrow on the. Matter of fact, that should get us up to 98 hours. I think by the weekend we're going to be at 100 hours finally. Let's take a look at our profile here, our logbook. That was 97 and a half. It should take us up to 98. Interesting. Okay. Anyway. Yeah, there we go. 56 minutes. It seemed like it was going to be more than that, but that's all right. Anyway, so yeah, by the weekend for sure we'll be up at 100 hours and making our way towards 500 in the simulator. So anyway, that's going to be it for today, folks. Greatly appreciate everybody coming in and hanging out. Hopefully you enjoyed the flight, enjoyed the scenery, and some personal anecdotes. And I will see you all tomorrow, Boston Sprinter. Take care. Enjoy the rest of your day. Peace. Live long.